It's another episode of Paris Reads the Hypernova series. What? Hey y'all, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We are halfway through book 1, and then I get to start reading book 2, which I'm very excited for. We're on page 145, and this chapter is called A Robot Beats Me Up in a Boxing Match. And I think that we're on episode 7 right now, but I'll figure that out later. My head is face down in my pillow. Sitting up on my elbows, I groan. A vast red mark has formed on my right cheek. Massaging the tenseness out of my jaw, waiting for the redness to go away, I roll onto my back, slide to the edge of the mattress, and stand up to shake away the cobwebs. My back is sore. I stretch, rotating my joints until they feel well oiled and ready to work. I glance at my bedside clock. It's 11:40. Oh no. I have about 20 minutes to meet Ron at the park. Throwing on my jeans and long-sleeve shirt, I grab the book and my notes, stuffing them into my pack and racing for the front door where my shoes are still on the mat. Levering them on, I look around the house. It's silent, other than for my labored breathing. Wish me luck, Mom. Then I'm out the door and charging down the hill. My shoes slap onto the concrete. Please, Ron, you better not leave without me. 10 minutes pass. I'm still 2 blocks away from the park and my lungs are about to burst. My glasses have misted up, so the figures ahead of me are just blurs. Stumbling into the park, I rush down the grassy hill, tripping once or twice on the frosted ground, causing cold water to soak into the back of my pants. Here, right? My feet slide. Bang! They collide with Ionia's exterior. From within the ship, I swear I can hear Ron's laughter. With a quiet hiss, the entrance hatch slides open and the ramp deploys. I stagger aboard and see that Ron has a broad grin on his face. What'd you think I was gonna do? He says. Abandon you if you slept in a little? Well, I don't know. Besides, it's not my fault my feet slipped. Uh-huh. Nodding, he waves me in. We move up to the cockpit and I collapse into the passenger seat while Ron engages Eon ready for launch. Don't get too comfy in that seat, Ron warns me. We gotta get you changed into your Fledgles uniform, ready for the exam, he winks. So, you ready to show him who's boss? I open my mouth to respond, but he rambles on. Speaking of that, how'd your studying go? I feign confidence, giving a tight grin with wide eyes. Oh, it went awesome. Ron gives me a knowing look. I'll believe you. Eon, are we clear to launch? Clear. Hatch is sealed. Internal pressure in the green. Ready for launch in 10. Do it, Ron says. There is barely any sensation as we lift off and are soon passing through the stratosphere. Ron turns to look at me. Let's go down to the crew deck. While you're changing, tell me about Mom? We go down, and he doesn't seem to notice my hesitation as Ionia enters the darkness of space. The news of a divorce will break his heart. I can't tell him the truth yet. Well, she just wanted to talk about school, like I guessed. Cool beans. Relief washes over me. Looks like I've avoided the drama for now. I get changed into my shirt. The material is comfy. But man, they could have picked a smaller size. I'm swimming in this thing. Eon announces our transition to hyperdrive, and it doesn't seem so long this time before we decelerate for our arrival at Altair and go through the landing formalities. As we settle in the landing bay, I'm reminded that the time has come for me to take my exams. This is a huge deal, and I am extremely nervous. We go up to his room so I can drop off my pack. Exams are in an hour. Got any questions? Ron asks. Yeah. I fish through my jean pocket. Is it okay if I wear this during the tests? I show him the move memorizer. His hand forms a thumbs up. Just keep it discreet. Know what I mean, Jellybean? His lingo irritates me. No, I don't. Can I use this or not? Well, technically no, he tells me. But you're a rare case. Without battle training, you're at a disadvantage. Using unregulated Altair tech will level the playing field. Following behind Ron, we join the swarming students morphing in and out of the elevators. The volume of their chatter sets my teeth on edge as I try to keep up with my brother. Ron rubs his hands together with eagerness. All right, the exam room is on floor 444. I'll take you to the registration desk, but after that, you're on your own. I move around some aliens, each about the size of my head, as they scurry between my feet, looking rather alarmed. Where will you be? Watching. Ava Braun's ranks oversee the exams. Well, that's a slight comfort. If Ron is scoring my test, maybe he'll cheat and give me an A+. We cram into an elevator, stepping out at floor 444. We're greeted by a snaking line of trainees waiting to get into a huge room. A large set of metal doors are propped open, and, at a white table, two tree-like humanoids are taking student information. Ron looks down at me. I must look absolutely terrified, because his eyes soften, and he pats me on the back. You can do this, Finn. It's not just me cheering you on. Remember that. Now, get your butt in that lineup. He heads down to the other end of the hall, exiting via a sliding door and disappearing from my sight. Who else is rooting for me? I thought everybody hated humans. The comment leaves me puzzled. Getting into the lineup, I keep my eyes glued to the floor, knitting my hands together like a polite schoolgirl. Somebody shoves into me. Turning around, I glare. It's another large student with 2 heads and black eyes. Sorry. I turn away. I wonder if having 2 brains is cheating. At last, I reach the front of the line. Another Aver Gold is sitting in front of a screen, checking in each student. This one has a body that appears to be assembled from oak wood, and long, slender arms tipped with beautiful pinkish blue leaves. It's clearly female. She has a long, thin mouth and gray eyes. Oh my, a human. Her voice is soft and non-judgmental. Yes, ma'am. Well, Godsonian Ilmo is a trusted recruiter. He wouldn't have brought you here if he didn't think you had the right stuff. She smiles, pointing down at a pale square scanner set into the table. Just scan your fingerprint, she says, taking my forefinger. I put it on the scanner. It buzzes, then pings. Pulling away, her screen switches to a school picture of my face alongside a large file of personal information. Good thing I've never done anything illegal. How do you guys have all of this? She tilts her head. Once we have your DNA in the system, we can find any information on you in the known galaxies. This helps the Citadel keep track of all recruits. She swipes the screen and a black line appears. Go ahead and sign, Finn Bates from planet Earth. I hesitate for a second before using a stylus to sign my name on the touchscreen. Thank you. She glances at a silver chip with a number stamped into it. Desk 50, row 5. Good luck, she says as she hands me the chip. Entering the room, I'm stunned by the number of students sitting at the rows and rows of blue desks. The tabletops are computer screens. At this moment, each screen displays a desk number. I find row 5, number 50, and settle down in the uncomfortable plastic chair. The room is cold and the atmosphere tense. Many fledgles share concerned expressions. Just like the good old high school days. Somebody sits in the chair next to me. She appears to be a half-cat person. Taking the silver chip given to her, she slides it into a slot on the desk, and the computer screen changes to a notice that the exam will begin in 10 minutes. Beneath it, there is a countdown clock that is unnerving. Doing the same, my chip fires up the computer. Now, all I have to do is wait. The room fills up. On the front wall, a large digital clock is glowing like a beacon. Ulmu appears from a side door and takes the chair at the center of a table at the front of the room, facing the students. 4 more Aver bronze staff enter. These include my brother. He scans the room until he spots me. I raise an eyebrow while shrugging. He responds with a nod, and then takes his designated spot beside Ulmu. Next to Ron, a lizard-like alien, possibly 8 feet tall, thwumps onto his seat. The chair cracks beneath him. He growls, then scans the room until he spots me. His eyes lock onto me, glaring. Wait, he looks exactly like Kiwok. That must be Woya, the aforementioned father that hates Ron. Ulmu stands up, and the room falls silent. I'm delighted that so many of you have applied to join our ranks. Though many of you won't pass, we still appreciate your drive and your wish to protect our known galaxies, to the best of your abilities. Good luck. His elongated finger points up at the clock. You will have an hour to finish this exam. He drops his hand as the countdown clock on the wall reaches 0. Begin. Oh no, I'm like a rat trapped in a cage. I stare at my screen as it lights up with a series of yes or no formatted questions. Wait, this is in English. I thought everything was written in Citadelis. A smile forms on my face. Ulmu saved my butt again. The first question reads, the planet Dree is primarily water. Do the residents of this planet live above ground? Yes or no? With every single question, I'm forced to use my tablet's note-taking tab, scribbling down my thoughts. After 30 questions, the world turns into a silent blur. At the 20-minute mark, I hear a number of students get up and leave the gymnasium, the squeaking of their chairs a slight distraction. I'm on a section where I have to chart out planet locations on a Citadel map. So, if Pathinda protects A to G... No, that was Vastia. Groaning, I bite my lip, picking at the skin. Choosing an answer, I move to the next question. Some minutes later, the entire row on my left has completed their exam. One alien, 2 seats away, quits in rage, storming out of the gym. I finish 3 more questions, arriving at the final section. Suddenly, the room is hushed. I haven't looked up from my tablet for some time. My head is heavy, yet I manage to gawk up at the clock. Only 10 minutes left. I blink. Ron and Ulmu are looking at me. I'm the only one left. The anxiety of being the center of attention crawls across my skin like insects. Shivering, I make eye contact with my elder brother. Remember why you're here, Finn. Looking back at the final section of my test, I shut out the world. The clock ticks down. I complete another answer. Only a few more minutes left. The sentences are swimming across my vision like swarms of fish. I'm on the last question. That will be all, Finn. Great. I didn't finish. Putting down my stylus, I stare at the computer, riddled with frustration. It goes to a white screen with black font. Thank you for your participation. I figure that, for sure, I've failed. Taking a deep breath, I rise from my seat. Ulmo's hands knit together, his head resting upon them. Ron has a proud look on his face, but it doesn't reassure me. Stepping out into the hallway, I see other students staring at me as they chuckle under their breath. At this point, I'm choking on my self-pity. That's when I hear a voice from within the gym. What? Curiosity gets the better of me. I peek into the gym. Kiwok's father is standing over my desk, staring at my notes. This is insane. What is this human nonsense? Ron crosses the gymnasium, a terrifying glare on his usually cheerful face. Why don't you back off a bit, Woya? It's not your job to score the tests. Ulmu stands up, crossing his arms. Enough, both of you. Woya turns on his heels, snorting at Ron while talking to Ulmu. We can't allow this, can we? Ron's brother is clearly brainless. Ulmu's response is precise as a sniper. Aver Woya, I will not discriminate against a trainee because of your personal disposition. The Godsonian stalks forward, brushing Ron aside, glaring up at Woya as his voice takes on a hint of danger. What you are looking at on that table is a boy determined to pass. Bates was given a mere 2 days to study our materials. One would call such knowledgeable improvisation miraculous. He gestures at my computer. Woya opens his huge lizard mouth to protest, but his black eyes find me eavesdropping. Time to go. Jumping back into the hallway, I slam into a female trainee. She's the same height as me, staring with large gold eyes and gray pupils. She appears to be human, with soft pink skin and red lips. She smiles. Sounds like the Godsonian likes you. Her voice is sweet as honey. With that, she walks off. Moments pass, and I realize that Ron will not be returning to escort me to the next exam location. I'll have to strike out on my own. Merging into the crowd, I follow, carried along in the current. An announcement plays over the loudspeakers. The voice is eerily familiar. Perhaps it's the man who greeted us into HQ. Fender Club? The physical exam will be taken on this floor. Room 62, Gymnasium 2B. He repeats the announcement twice. Making my way along the corridor, I'm squashed by a number of trainees laughing and jesting. They seem confident in their ability to pass the tests. I stare at their claws, sharp teeth, armored bodies, and keen eyes. Suddenly, I find a large group of other fledgles blocking my path. Beyond their shoulders and heads, I can see that the training bay door remains closed. A fender, with a black sash across his uniform, allows one student into the gym at a time. The soundproof doors shut, cutting us off from any clue as to what is happening inside. Swallowing my fears, I stand at the tail end of the group as we creep forward. A long time passes. The students around me are growing increasingly anxious. Nobody comes out of the gymnasium once they enter. Where do they go? When my turn finally arrives, I stare at the fender guarding the entrance. He has blue leathery skin with large black spots around his neck and arms. A set of 5 tiny tentacles layer the back of his head, paired with a thin fish mouth and a set of gills. His shirt is black with a series of silver buttons. His hands have 4 webbed fingers, and his belly fat protrudes over his belt. When he sees me, he raises his hands in the air in surprise. Ah, you must be Finn Bates. Pleasure to meet ya, my boy. Hello, sir. The stranger reaches out, shaking my hand. He leaves a slime coat on my palm. I wipe the cold fluid on my pants. Listen, boy, you're gonna do great. He pumps his fist against his burly chest. My name is Fender Welcome. If you pass your exams, I'ma be your weapons instructor, along with my best friend, Socrates. More names to remember. He prattles on as I shake my head. He's just like Ron. I teach all the newbies. Welcome clears his throat. When Ron told me you were on your way, I brushed up on my human slang right away. That way you're not gonna have to worry about falling behind in my class, home dog. Welcome laughs like Santa Claus, giving me a hearty pat on the back. Now get in there, rock star. The door opens. His wet hands shove me on the shoulder. Wait, what's gonna happen to me once I'm inside? But by the time I turn around to protest, the door is already closing in my face. The tip of my nose inches away from being flattened like a pancake. I spin around. Before me is a ginormous gymnasium dominated by a 20-foot window. The floor is lined with blue shock-absorbing mats stamped with the Altair's signature kraken. They are sprinkled with broken mechanical pieces in blood. A shiver ripples through me as I turn to face a familiar group of faces at the desk. Sitting in order are Woya, 2 unknown soldiers, Godsonian Ulmu, and Ron. Woya snorts while shaking his head. Step onto the mats, boy. Let's get this over with. Hush, Woya, Ulmu snaps. The Godsonian turns back to me. Now, Finn, he begins. The physical exam is simple. You'll face one of our training bots on the lowest setting. Simply defend yourself to the best of your abilities. We will judge. Ron leans forward. Just kick it in the robo-junk. Ulmo closes his eyes at the crude comment. Woya hisses. Shut it, Bates. Come at me, lizard breath, Ron counters. Their bickering is cut short by Ulmo's blood-freezing glare. Ron sits back in his chair, crossing his arms. Sorry, sir. Ulmo sighs, pointing across the room. Lining the wall are tall, silver robots, with flat faces and limbs covered in white fabric padding. Raising his wrist, he taps his Jericho watch, and a training bot whirs to life. It lumbers into the center of the room several feet away, raising its arms and pivoting its feet. My hands find the move memorizer, and I activate the chip. This model uses a 4-step attack sequence, Ulmu hints. Good luck. The robot springs to life, raising its left fist and moving lightly over the blue mats. I'm taking a deep breath inwards when the robot's fist cracks against my jaw. An intense stinging sensation sends me flying backwards. I land on my side, the padding doing little to brace my fall. Ow! My cold hand lingers up to my swollen jaw. Woya snorts again. I look up at him. His arms are crossed in confidence. Ulmu remains silent, his eyes calm and watchful. Ron gives me his trademark thumbs up. Yeah, nice bro, real helpful. The robot hesitates as if confused by my lack of practice. I rise to my feet as the training bot attacks again with the same right-sided punch. It careens sideways, slamming me on the other side of my face. With a sickening crack, I hit the floor, eyes shut with humiliation and pain. I can feel my face swelling. Come on, don't give up now. Only 2 more moves to go, then I'll know the entire combo. This is agonizing, a random Astrogold with rainbow skin comments. Clearly the boy has no battle experience. A flood of determination courses through me. No! I shout, stamping my feet onto the mat, staggering to face my opponent. I'm not done yet. Not waiting to see their reactions, I face my enemy as the robot starts with his right hook. I dodge. Here comes the left hook. I duck, but the robot's right leg shifts, making direct contact with my core. Sputtering out spit and air, I fall over, pain coursing through me. Ulmu seems deep in thought. That will be enough. My hand shoots into the air, my thumb stuck high into the sky. I'm okay. Behind the spots dancing in my vision, the Altair higher-ups watch as I rise again. Fresh blood coats my lips from a small incision. Staring at Ulmu, a wave of calm washes over me. Trust me. The robot jumps onto the mat, beginning his rotation full throttle. Firing up every muscle in my body, I dodge both punches, barrel rolling from the leg kick. Its other leg rises, nailing me in the core, but I hold my ground, grabbing the robot's leg, pushing it away. I trigger the AI to begin the sequence once more. Now's my chance. Staring at the training bot with all my waning strength, the moment feels akin to David sizing up Goliath. I tap my move memorizer and a burst of electricity flows to my brain. I feel galvanized and see a ripple of confusion across the judges' faces. Only Ron's expression is that of pride. The robot charges. With the enemy sequence memorized, I easily slip-slide from its attacks. The surge of electricity leaves every cell in my body shaking with anticipation. As with Miv's demonstration, my body moves on its own. Slamming it with my fist tightly clenched, I deal the same damage it was programmed to do to me. Its gears grind beneath my bare knuckles and it falls off of the mat, crashing onto the metal floor. Gears spit out of its back. As it starts to get back up on its feet, I knee it in the gut and it falls to one knee. I've never won a battle before. It feels amazing. Damaged wires and crushed mechanical joints tumble from beneath my sneaker. How's this for an attack, tin can? Spinning into a roundhouse, I land the death blow. My foot breaks the robot's ribcage and sparks explode from its insides. It falls over with a satisfying crash. My legs go limp and I slip onto my knees, my fingers digging into the soft fabric below. Is it over? Well, that was a pretty fun chapter. Things are only going to get better and better from now on. I kind of want to apologize in advance because I'm doing a lot of voices and it's really hard for me to remember what voices I did for what character. I'm trying to keep things consistent for you guys. I apologize if some of the voices are a little bit strange, but there's a wide cast of characters and I can only do so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Paris Reads. If you like what you're hearing, links are down below for book 1 and book 2. What? Book 2's out already? I know, I don't really do much other than write. My Instagram is also below. My Facebook is below, so please go check all of that out. Quick update on the animation that I'm doing. That's still in the works, but I'm doing it all by myself, and animating is extremely difficult, so it'll take a lot more time to get the full episode of Zozo versus Ron out, but it is coming, so be patient. Have an amazing day, guys. Stay happy, stay sane, stay awesome. Mwah. And bye-bye.